All right, mic check. All right, so let's let's take a look at the pre-market situation. We did gap down overnight, so the Asia session pulled back, and then the London session bounced back and retested yesterday's lows, and then rejected it 3 times. And then in the U.S. pre-market now, we are bearish. We have this lower high. We're underneath the point of control at this point. All right, let's take a look here. The market is about to open. I'm just going to pull up my SPY and Nasdaq. All right, so we're open, and just right off the open, we rejected as 4 pivot point. Pulling back into the area where we had support in the Asians market. $67.15. That's also a support, I believe. March 8th. That was March 9th. Yeah, that was Monday's. Actually, Friday's lows. Sorry. So Fridays of last week. So last week's lows are right here around 67.15, 67.20. So I'm probably going to be looking for a bounce in this area, for a pull back into that support, and possible a bounce for a gap fill to the upside. All right. Still pulling back. Rejected deviation band. And then we're now just going to retest. We're going to retest a point of control from Monday. All right, I'm going to try the small position right here. Okay, I'm in. Let's see if we can scalp this. I'm going to close my stop loss right here, get it a little tighter. It's possible we're going to double. We're going to retest it, put a double bottom here. I don't know, only one of my accounts got copied. That sucks. I'm not sure why. That was a really good entry so far. I just don't know why only one of my accounts is trading. Let me see what happened here. Hey. Why can't I? Let's see what the problem is. It's out of sync. Okay. All right, target hit. And now it's looking like my other accounts are actually trading. But the entry was late. I'm not even sure exactly. Oh yeah, that's crazy. I'm gonna flatten all these positions. All right. Yeah, weird stuff. Okay, so B22. B22. All right, that should be good to go. All right, so we're now testing value area low, which is also deviation band, lower deviation band. I'd like the idea of trying to go long here if we hold this deviation band without waiting for the full orb on a 5-minute. I'm gonna draw my 5-minute orb. Okay, so we haven't really held it yet. And we are below the point of control, so that's something to be mindful of. All right, I like the reclaim. Yeah, I like it. I'm gonna try it. Is everything? Yeah. Okay, so all the accounts are trading. We're now above the point of control. Selling came in, aggressive selling just try to step in here. Let's see if we can push through that aggressive selling here. Yeah, I like the trade. I think we have a nice early entry so far. Very nice. So my 3-to-1 target is 67.36. However, I like the idea of moving the target to the upper deviation band area. That's going to maximize the trade, and I do think that's a valid target. Also, kind of coincides with yesterday's lows. Okay, I really like that push. We're getting more aggressive buying stepping up. I have doggies playing around in the house, so I have to mute the mic every now and then. We're pulling back to a point of control, retesting that. I mean, S4 is a solid pivot point that we have to break through. All right, still not out of the woods yet. I do like the price action so far. Delta is trying to climb back up slowly. We are holding VWAP on SPY and NASDAQ, although NASDAQ has a supply right above it at 604 and is struggling to break above that. And that might cause us to fail here. Yeah, looking heavy now. Yeah, we got stepped out. I got triggered here. If we can reclaim... Yeah, I don't like that. If we can reclaim the VWAP here on SPY, I think we have room to go higher to fill the gap. It's not looking so good anymore. I think it needs... SPY is better. But now it just makes me want to wait for the orb to break out completely. Because we could make a lower high here and actually go lower. We're below the point of control, holding the value area low right now. Maybe we're just gonna retest the lows of the day before we head back up. SPY is attempting to hold VWAP. Oh, it just has now rejected it for the second time. Nasdaq is about to retest the low of the day. It's not a place for me to go long right now. It's either the retest of the lows, which is also point of control from Friday. Or actually, no, I'm sorry. I guess that was Monday. Yeah, Monday. Which is also the lows of Friday. So 67.14 is where I'm going to be looking for a re-entry to the upside if it presents itself. Right about here. Although the price action looks a little bearish in general. We failed to make another higher high. We made a lower high. That's the tricky part, is to flip the mindset right now and look for shorts. We broke below these key levels. We are now testing Asia's lows. Don't see a strong bounce. I don't see a strong reaction. Okay, we are attempting to bounce. It's a very weak bounce. I think we're going to continue lower. Hate the fact that I didn't try to enter right here on that lower high. I like that. It's a break of a trend line. It's a lower high. I like these patterns. I've traded that before so many times. I really do like it. It was hard for me to flip my mindset because I was looking for the upside to fill the gap. Now we're at 67.01, which was, what is this line from? Okay, we get some buyers come up. But at this point, I'm not going to try to find a reversal play. It's just more of a pullback to the orb or even the deviation band and then look for another short. That's going to be more high probability trade. Then try to catch these lows. I mean, 6,700, it is a psychological level. However, just looking at this price action, that doesn't mean that we're not going to break it. I just need that pullback into the deviation band or maybe the low portion of the orb, and then I will look for an entry to the downside. See if we can. Yeah, I like that rejection, although I would want to see it touch the deviation band, which is also VWAP on SPY. Touch that first before we reject. Right about here. Very interesting. So we have reclaimed it. Wow. Okay, so Nasdaq has now retested the VWAP. SPY is above it. We just touched the point of control on ES. Very interesting reclaim. I would not have bought that bottom here. Let's see what happens here. This is very interesting. Yeah, I don't think we... Well, let's see. Doesn't look like we're gonna try to... Well, maybe Nasdaq is really rejecting the VWAP. Alright, I'm gonna give this a try. If we don't continue to go lower here and we don't break the lower portion of the orb, then it's going to be time to look for to flip the trade to the upside, because this is where it should continue. Okay, that's very nice. And Nasdaq is now leading. Nasdaq is retesting the lows. I do have a feeling that this will be the trade that's going to continue a little lower. I mean, next point of control that I do see and a pivot point is at 66.98. Right here. So if Nasdaq can break the lows here and not make a double bottom, then SPY will follow. Yeah, and that would be fantastic. The aggressive selling is definitely there. So Nasdaq broke the lows, but it's trying to continue to go lower. What is that? That's a 200 EMA? Yeah, that's a 200. I have a 200 EMA on daily at 66.79. 66.79. And what is this line? Man, those are old lines. 66.79. So let's call it 80. Let's see if we can keep that as a target. And then I'm going to draw my 3-to-1 reward to risk. Sorry, that's not correct. So that's about here. The only thing is that the price action looks really good, and I want to give it a chance to play out and continue to go lower. And I will just try to maybe lock in my 3-to-1 if ES allows me to trail it. Okay, so we're trying to break the 67 number, 6700, which is also a key level on Nasdaq. That was a 600 number. These round numbers are very psychological. A lot of orders are placed on the round numbers. So 60, okay, so we did hit 66.97, which was a point of control. I believe that was from Monday. That is a tough level. That was a solid support. And let's see if our downtrend today will continue to break through these levels. I believe we can. I believe there is one more push lower here. Come on, give me another leg lower here. That's a nice bear flag. That's a 1 minute bear flag here. Three to one is my ideal reward to risk. So I don't want to give that back. Sometimes I'm trying to milk the trade a little more, but it's gotta continue quickly for me to really try to hold it. It's building a structure here. I like the selling pressure, but it might squeeze. Alright, some selling came in. Aggressive buying coming up. I hope to get more rejections over here. Okay. Some aggressive buying stepped in. So we found a bounce area of the 6,700, at least short term. Wow. Wow. Okay, so we are back for a retest of the orb, and that's also VWAP on SPY. So the way this is looking to me right now is we have this trend line right about here, and what I will be looking for is a break through that trend line and pull back to it. Or at least make a higher low here. Yep, I don't think there is more juice to go lower anymore. I think a lot of the money has been made overnight, and we have manipulated under Asia's lows, and I think we're gonna look for a trade to the upside to fill the gap. I don't want to get in right here, although I kind of like it, but it's too early. It's a little aggressive. That candle was too big. Plus Nasdaq is lagging. It's now still underneath the VWAP. And we can see how this aggressive buying gets absorbed. Yeah, we definitely need a higher low before looking for an entry. This is just a lot of aggressive sellers getting squeezed and covering their position, pushing us higher. But we do need that trend change. Okay, so we're attempting to bounce off VWAP and hold the VWAP on SPY. I think it's still early. Even though we might push higher, it's a little early. Okay, so this trend line should be more like that. Alright, so we're holding that VWAP. I mean, yeah, it's actually tempting right here. Give me that pullback, please. Problem is we're still below point of control. And we're getting inside the value area here where we might trade sideways for a while. Sorry, excuse me. Okay, that's a good pullback. Nasdaq hasn't cleared VWAP, but SPY is above VWAP still, and that's another attempt to hold it. This is going to be key right here. Can we bounce off this trend line? Or we're just going to continue lower? But I don't, even if we continue lower here, I still think we're going to try to create a higher low somewhere here in this fair value gap right here. And then we might pull back to 67.09. Let's see. So far held the trend line, held the VWAP on SPY. Looking for a bounce higher. I think I'm gonna have to start my position soon. All right. Nope. Not yet. No, not yet. Let's see if we fill this fair value gap. Just right about here. If we fill that and find support off of that. Still trying to hold that trend line, which is interesting. Okay, we got that bounce, reclaimed the VWAP on SPY. Yeah, I think that will give me enough confirmation to try it right here. Stop loss going to be a little wider. And the target for now will be upper deviation band. Which is what is that? 43. Okay, that's a pivot point in the London session. See if we can get extra juice to push through the point of control and move a little higher. The discrepancy between Nasdaq and SPY is a little concerning. SPY is above VWAP. Nasdaq is still trading underneath the VWAP. It's a very similar situation like yesterday when we traded above VWAP, but then we got sucked into a long trade and we pulled back. Sort of. Yeah, Nasdaq sucks here for our trade. We need the delta to step in and get more aggressive buyers. I mean, we're trading in a very narrow range here. The candles are really tiny, and if we decide to pull back, okay, so there's another attempt to hold the VWAP. We're trying to hold the value area low on ES. Or we're getting smacked at this 67.20. Okay, now the point of control has shifted to 67.20, and we're trying to, yep, get above it, which would be fantastic. But it just means that it's a really balanced market in this area. It's basically in my orb. So we need to get this out of balance and hopefully find them move to the upside. It's looking better. I like it more, but still. If I can get an extra push here, I might just move my stop loss a little closer. I just want to minimize the risk a little more. So 16. Okay, let's see what we look like on the 5 minute. Okay, so the 3 minute here looks okay. 5 minute. I like the 5 minute on SPY for sure. Nasdaq. Well, ES looks fine. 15 minute, it looks great. It's a fantastic engulfing candle on the 15 minute. 30, perfect. 60, yeah, just a hammer. Okay, well, let's give it time. We're now approaching value area high, which is also VWAP. All right, I'm gonna let this try to do its own thing. I'll be right back. If we can get out of this value area, this balanced area, and get above S4 here, if we get a nice retest of S4, I might add to my position. It depends how we break through it. If we break through it. Okay, so we can see aggressive buying that came in here under that VWAP, and then selling showed up right after more aggressive selling. It tells me we might see a strong pullback. Yeah, a lot of trapped buyers. The point of control has moved up to around 67.24. So this is where we're going to be in trouble, because we failed to hold the point of control. We're retesting value area low, which is a VWAP on SPY. That's okay. However, Nasdaq is still just rejected VWAP completely. And so it's not looking great anymore. I lost that look. The 5 minute is 3 minute on SPY, 5 minute on SPY. It's trying to hold that VWAP. 15 minute looks okay to me. That looks like we can still move higher. But it might take some shenanigans here. Maybe we still try to get that that fair value gap filled. Here's the VWAP on SPY right here. I'm gonna get stopped out here. Oh, that sucks. I need to react a little more to the order flow when it comes to my stop losses and whatnot, because I could have avoided it. I saw the trapped buyers and then aggressive selling come in. I could have avoided the loss here and closed the position. I gotta do it more next time I trade. Let's see if this is where we want it to come back to. It's very hard. even though in my work it's hard to go long right now, it's because we're way below point of control. We're now pretty much below um, or we are below, what is it, Friday's lows. So we got some aggressive sellers down here at 67.1075, and let's see if they're gonna get rewarded. It looks like they might not. And the fair value gap gets filled. No. 602 on NASDAQ, nasty rejection. And 671 on SPY. Yeah, look at that. So it does look like on the 5 minutes, and let me draw something here. Let's see how this is looking. We're making a higher low on a 5-minute chart. So hard to go either way here because we are down so much from yesterday's close, and there is some support level around 6,700, and this looks like we might just trade sideways in this channel. I don't like it. building a little bit of a structure here. So that fair value gap got filled, and look at this bounce. Testing the deviation band here. Let's continue to draw that box here. Yeah, that's all intriguing. All these candles, they try to suck you into trading, but there's nothing that high probability right now. I mean, that rejection of deviation band and orb, it looks interesting, but not that interesting. So I don't think we're going to continue lower here. Okay. Yeah, look at that dump. Come on. Yeah, it does suck when this happens. Turns out to be a decent trade, a rejection of the orb and deviation band, and then we get a nice push lower. And we're sort of sitting on that trend line here. Yeah, it looks like a little continuation here. Looks like there's another leg lower here. I'm gonna give that a try for a small scalp. So we broke the lows, we created a little bear flag. I'm looking for a continuation and a quick trade down to 66.80-ish, which is going to be just above the 200 EMA on the daily. Okay. This has, I got bitten in the ass by these trades before, where you get sucked into a continuation and it pulls on you immediately. Yeah, this has happened to me before. I hate those low probability trades, man. So now I definitely have to look for a reversal because that manipulation here has happened to break the lows. Maybe it was just a pop and fade, but I do think that there's a lot of sellers like me that got trapped here and they need to cover. Okay, so just the pop and fade for now. Yeah, because Nasdaq has just retested the pivot. Okay, it sucks. Let's see what happens here. Okay, no continuation here. So a pop and fade. Yeah, pop and fade. Okay, so we're continuing. We're gonna try to continue in the same direction then. We got that pop and fade. I just have to be flexible on which direction to trade here, but if yeah, this sucks. It really does, because I got sucked into the same thing again. And once again, all that buying coming in here. It's just getting sellers sucked in. I'm not feeling it today. I had a good trade off the open, and right now I'm not feeling it. I think the order flow is giving me mixed signals. We are in this downtrend in general. But then we get these pops. We have those buyers sitting at the levels and trying to push us back higher. And it's all just a scalp play. We're back to square one here. So all these pops are getting faded. 6700 keeps rejecting here. And I'm getting sucked into this this battle on the bottom. Yeah, this just sucks. Yeah, more selling stepping in here. We're gonna continue. Or will these sellers get absorbed? That's the question here. Another retest. It's not looking great either way. The 5 minute looks bearish, like we want to continue lower. 1 minute is trying to build some sort of a structure here, but I think it's just illusion. The order flow is giving me mixed signals for entry. I hate that I was positive on all my accounts and turned them negative by over trading. All these pops are weak. However, I can't just take the profit randomly here. I need to let this play out, at least touch some key levels, you know? Give me that retest here. We broke 6,700. Continue that squeeze. Just give me that. More aggressive buying. More aggressive selling. Lots of buying. Lots of buying. Crazy. Really insane amount of buyers here. If that gets rejected, then I'm really cooked. Almost looks like it would be very likely that this gets absorbed. Holy smokes. Yeah, I mean, with this kind of a support from the buyers, it's hard not to try to hold this. I mean, if we get rejected here, holy crap. Yeah, that's a nice pop. I might have to. Let me see where we at. I might have to. Do I want to take this? Not yet. Yeah, I'll let it take me. Perfect. That was fantastic. Really, really fantastic. And with all this confirmation here, I think the short play is over. We really squeezed the sellers down there, and it would be just natural for us to find another entry, and with a tight stop loss, and try to find a continuation here. Okay. We're still. Alright, so we're still in this downtrend on the 5 minute, and we still rejected the point of control. So, patience. And I might just walk away. Yeah, it's a massive rejection. It's crazy. I don't want to get caught in this anymore. It's what do you do here? When you try to go long and you're against all that selling pressure, you can't really go short into this absorption right here. The best, the safest, the highest probability trade is for ES to come up again into the value area and then break above point of control, retest that. So that's going to be around 67.20, right where we got that big rejection. So close above it or break and retest. Sorry. Mm-hmm. All right, ES is attempting to make that higher low on the 5 minute. 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 Okay, I'll be right back. I might just take a quick break.